What is up, guys? Welcome back to Answer Box. I'm JB here again. I do want to take a second before we start this video to go ahead and ask you to drop a like, drop a subscribe, check out our Patreon page. We have set it up. It's patreon.com/answerbox. Check out my editor's Fiverr page. He's got that going now too. That's fiverr.com/Pasha Designs. So I appreciate it. Welcome back to the video. Let's jump into some questions. How do I rid my mind of the anxiety of negative emotions? It depends on what type of anxiety. I guess that's a difficult one. It's hard to really deal with anxiety. You need a lot of therapy or self-therapy if you can look up. For me, mine was social anxiety. I wasn't very good at talking to people. I'm getting better, but I had to force myself into that situation to get better. It's called immersion therapy, where you put yourself in the situation that makes you uncomfortable. So if there's some type of anxiety, or if you have a certain type of anxiety that's triggered by something, put yourself into that situation, trigger your anxiety, show yourself that it's not as bad as you think it's going to be, because in reality it's not. That's the whole thing about anxiety. It's just a feeling. It's not actually anything. So that's what I would say. Try that out. See how that helps you. Why do balding men need to shave their head? Updated 3 hours ago. Like, for people losing their head, people say that you should just shave it off already. But what if you don't mind the male pattern look? Why is it so unattractive to have some hair even if you don't have it in the middle? Not everyone looks good with a shaved head, and it can be kind of weird to feel the back of your head and just feel skin. I feel like I'm the only person who thinks it's unnecessary and that some men look good with the hair in the back. Updated 3 hours ago. Especially when it's long like George Carlin, and they say that shaving your head is embracing your hair loss, but isn't shaving your head because you're losing your hair just a way to try and hide? For me, that's exactly what happened. I'm only 28 years old. I started losing my hair when I was 21, maybe. And I was not going to be a 21-year-old with that U-shape hair. So I went ahead and just started shaving it off. I guess it is kind of being embarrassed by it, I guess. I just think it looks better to me. But I'm sure there are some people that like it. It's probably just most people don't like it. Like you said, you feel like you're the only one with these opinions. It's probably just that most people don't like that look, so they go ahead and shave it, especially if they're young. I think if you're older, it's more acceptable, but if you're young and you have that kind of hairline, it's a little weird. All right. If my boyfriend says he will stop spending money on me, what does that mean? Does he want to break up, or is he going to start using me, or is he cheating? No, maybe he just feels like he's spending way too much money on you. Maybe he's trying to save for a certain reason. Maybe he wants to propose, but he can't propose if he's spending all these small amounts of money on you, because he needs to be able to afford to save up and get a ring. If you think about that, there's a lot of different things that could be happening, but no, I don't think that means he wants to break up or he's going to cheat on you. He just doesn't want to spend money like crazy anymore. Why was this considered as domestic violence in the news? In the news, a man was murdered before his son took his own life. Men can't be domestic violence victims, so why was his murder seen as a DV? What? Men can definitely be seen as domestic violence victims. Just because they're men doesn't mean that they can't be a victim. Like, they can still be beaten. They can still be abused. Yeah, domestic violence against men, not very widely talked about, but it's definitely a thing that happens. Yeah, that's just ignorant. Is asking me to exchange a gift rude? I told my boyfriend his birthday present was a Nintendo Switch Lite. He immediately asked if I could return it and get an original Nintendo Switch instead. I'm really upset over the comment hours later, and I need to know if it's justified or me bring over the top. What do you think? Yeah, I would say that's rude for him to not be happy with a gift. I mean, yeah, definitely, it's rude. Go ahead, be mad. I have fantasies of looking cool in front of hot women. I imagine fighting bad monsters and doing amazing, like, acrobatic kung fu fighting moves to defeat the monsters that would impress women watching me. Would women find me sexy if I could do this? You would need a monster to fight first, right? where's this monster coming from? I mean, I guess some women like it whenever men fight because they are showing that they're physical and tough and all that, but that's a shallow reason for a woman to like you. So, but you're also wanting to look cool in front of hot women, so maybe you're kind of shallow yourself. Should everyone prefer hugging men because they are bigger and there's be no bobos in the way? I'm not 100% sure what you mean. Boobs, maybe? There's no boobs in the way. Preferences. Everybody has a different preference, I'm sure. Women prefer hugging men. Men hug women. Whatever. I don't know. That's a hilarious question. How do I tell my husband the truth? My husband goes away often on business trips. 2 months ago, when he was out of town, I had a one-night stand with a guy and he did not use a condom. I found out yesterday I am pregnant. I do not know if my husband is the father of my baby, and I need advice on what to do. Face the consequences. Tell him that you're not 100% sure. You could get a DNA test with the other guy. I would still tell your husband though, because it's pretty messed up to do something like that to him, go behind his back that way. I would definitely tell him, give him the option to walk away from you. I mean, if you're going to do something like that to break the trust, then that's on you. So, are men with really long hair usually weirdos of society? Like past shoulders? Definitely. The longer the hair, the weirder they are. No doubt about it. That's 100% accurate.
100% unconditional guarantee on everything.
Finally had an attractive man over for dinner last night, and my son ruined our whole evening. I don't know what to do with him. I work at TT Tech in Morgantown, West Virginia with a man named Ron, and I have been asking him over for a home-cooked meal and a movie for 9 years. Man, you're persistent. Yesterday, he finally accepted. Okay. Probably because of the coronavirus and the restaurants all being closed. I made a great dinner: baked ham, fried taters, hominy, green beans, iced tea, southern style, and a good fresh glass of ice-cold buttermilk. For dessert, I made blackberry pie and a pot of steaming hot coffee. My son Max was there because he only goes to his father's on the weekends. He is an ignoramus. During dinner, he told a poop joke. I was humiliated, and Ron as well. I scolded Max, and he was reasonable good after that. After dinner, Ron and I went into the living room to watch Glitter, which is one of my favorite films, and everyone on the phone says I sound like Mariah Carey. I figured we could watch some of the movie while our dinner settled, and then we could have dessert and maybe make love. Man, you are bold. About half an hour into the movie, Max comes trompsing in and wants to show Ron his Pokemon cards. It felt like they looked at them things like for 4 hours. I finally said, Max, we are watching a movie. Go play your video games. But as he walked out, he said one more thing, and then he turned around and tooted long and loud. OMG, I was mortified, and I could tell Ron wanted to die. Then the smell hit. It was one of them popcorn farts. Ron ran out of the door and throwed up in the shrubbery and got in his truck and peeled out. I'm surprised he didn't go home and blow. And then it just cuts off. I don't even know if this is a true story. Like, is this just something you posted to be funny? I mean, that's really, if he's a kid, it's a kid. Kids are weird. They do weird things. My son cannot stop talking about diarrhea and poop. That is his favorite thing. He's 6 years old, and that's what he loves to talk about. He thinks it's so hilarious. So he was just trying to join in. It's not really, that's not that big of a deal to make a poop joke. You can tell him it's inappropriate, stop. But I don't know. He probably just wanted some type of attention. He wanted to be involved. Nothing wrong with that. That story was awesome though. My sister is a narcissist. How do we best behave when around a narcissist like her? No one in the family likes her, but of course we have to love her because she is family. For narcissists, the best thing to do is just don't engage. Whatever they're trying to do, if they're trying to make it seem they're just trying to start some type of drama and blame you or whatever the issue is, just don't engage it. If you don't engage, then they lose. They'll get mad, and then they'll probably throw out more claims or start being rude and calling you names or whatever. But the more you disengage, the madder they get, and then eventually they'll just stop. And the more times you do that, the better it is, because then they just know that they can't get away with it. But they will always push limits if they are truly a narcissist. Is being physically weak mostly genetic? I feel like I may never become physically strong than most guys. I'm a 22-year-old guy, 5'6" tall, and weigh around 167 pounds. I'm weaker than 70% of the guys. My dad and granddad are also physically weak. Is it in my genes to never become strong? Genes do play a part in this, but you can strength train if you just go to the gym. I know that's not a possibility right now, but once it starts opening back up, I mean, you can still do calisthenics, body weight workouts, push-ups, pull-ups, that type of stuff at home. You can do something. But yeah, strength training will increase your strength. You won't be the strongest guy ever if you're already naturally weak, but you can build up your strength. You're not completely doomed. Genes do play a part though. Now, drum roll, because it's time for the viewer email. All right, let's jump into this. I've been staying awake for over 30 hours straight, and it needs to stop. 30 hours awake, 9 hours sleep, then back to 30 hours awake. I don't work or do anything. I just sit at home all day, and I need advice on how to get my sleep pattern back. I've been putting more sugar in my tea than Pablo Escobar could produce in a year to stay awake. Well, that might be part of the problem. If you're putting sugar in your tea and trying to stay awake, then you're going to stay awake. The best thing I would say is set yourself up a schedule. So you want to be in bed by a certain time, so you set it up. You don't drink any caffeine, sugar, nothing like that. No eating before maybe an hour or two before you want to go to sleep. Then whenever you go to sleep and you stay asleep, wake up. I would say try not to sleep 8 hours the first time. Maybe try to sleep 7 hours. That way that you're still a little tired when you wake up. Don't take a nap. Don't do any of that. So that time, whenever the time comes for you to go back to bed at whatever time you have scheduled for yourself, it's easier to fall asleep because you're tired. Then maybe sleep 8 hours, and then just keep doing that. It's just a habit that you have to form, but definitely cut out the sugar. Don't put so much sugar in your drinks. Don't try to set a schedule. Make it easy on yourself. But anyways, guys, that's going to be everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like, subscribe, share, post us everywhere. Tell your grandparents about us. I know they're not very good at using the internet, but let them know anyways. They might get a kick out of this. A hoot, whatever you want to call it. But I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye.